knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your fight. Too many runaways eating up the night. Marconi plays the mambo. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this.
Welcome to the City Show. Pat O'Melia here live on GGR, as I ask every week. Tell your friends to download the Live 365 app so you can listen to our radio station GGR and as many other programs on Live 365. A lot of music, a lot of the podcast stuff, and it's all free. So Live 365, download the app, then you put the GGR on there, and then you can listen to me all the time. That's not a bad deal, right? Not bad weather. Yeah, we had some rain, a lot of rain. But yeah, I don't mind the rain as long as we're not all flooded out and looks like we did okay in this last storm. I certainly want to give props to Joe Conga when he was the director down there at the Jersey City MUA. He put in the flood pump stations down on the Hudson River and the Hackensack River. That saved a lot of flooding on the west side and downtown. We should have retained him, but we didn't. That's a story for another day with me and the former Mayor Fulop. But good job by the MUA. Real good direction. I don't see him out as much as I did when Joe Conga was there. So that's something we should probably look into. What are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're going to talk first. When I get back, I want to give you my medical updates. I had the MRI a couple weeks ago. The tax bills are in. Tax bills are in. Yeah, it's not good. Not going good. I want to talk about the state's involvement in the tax bill. That's kind of got me surprised. We got a forum coming up for a transfer station on the 20th. I want to make sure we move that along. I want to talk about the state with this loan we're going to get, mandating that we have the tax increase. Flood warnings in Jersey. So flock LPR cameras. What is an LPR? License plate reader. You know, it started with the commissioners meeting a couple of months ago. This is really becoming an issue everywhere with these flock cameras that read your license plate. And I want to talk about a situation with getting a refund from RWJ Barnabas. I've been seeing a lot of doctors, and I'm partial RWJ Barnabas. But it doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. These are the kind of things we'll talk about. But when you've got a radio station, a media, and a television station, you seem to get more attention when you have a consumer issue, like getting a refund. I'll tell you what happened when we come back. Listen, you're listening to the City Show here on GGR. We're going to break for commercial. We'll be right back.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Your basement or attic packed? You no longer have a garage? Extra Space Storage has space. Self-storage units starting at 4 foot by 4 foot and up for the storage of furniture, appliances, electronics, clothing, business inventory, sporting equipment. Some Extra Space locations even have vehicle storage. Extra Space Storage from North Bergen to Toms River and everywhere in between and beyond. Visit on the net for your nearest Extra Space Storage location, extraspace.com. Hi, I'm Pat O'Melia with the Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment Network, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You may have heard me talk about teaching high school juniors and seniors studio and radio production. The hope is when these kids graduate and wish to continue their education, they may receive college scholarships, or if not, they will have the experience from our program to get employment at the major motion movie studios here in New Jersey and New York. I started a GoFundMe where you can make a donation completely tax deductible to help these kids and the studio program. Please go to GoFundMe and type in Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment Network. I thank you now for your generosity. Toms River Armory, 602 Clifton Avenue, right at the intersection of Clifton Avenue and Route 37 at Toms River. Your local source for all your firearm, ammo needs, and accessories. Plus, gunsmithing, repair, and cleaning on site. And coming soon, firearm training and classes. Toms River Armory, 732-569-3730. On the net at tomsriverarmory.com. Open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Toms River Armory, 602 Clifton Avenue at the intersection of Route 37 and Clifton Avenue in Toms River. Visit on the net at tomsriverarmory.com. Your basement or attic packed? You no longer have a garage? Extra Space Storage has space. Self-storage units starting at 4 foot by 4 foot and up for the storage of furniture, appliances, electronics, clothing, business inventory, sporting equipment. Some Extra Space locations even have vehicle storage. Extra Space Storage from North Bergen to Toms River and everywhere in between and beyond. Visit on the net for your nearest Extra Space Storage location, extraspace.com.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
All right, we're back. Pat O'Melia here, GGR, the man that can't handle buttons. You know, when I shut down the show, I cover everything, unlike people in my studio that never cover anything. I cover it, put it away nicely, and I must have hit one of the buttons on the Pro Duo here. That's why we didn't have any audio in the beginning there for the commercial. But I figured out, and I'm going to add phone calls in. We're working on it right now. See, I don't want to bring somebody in here to handle and screen the calls. You know, I do this at 9 o'clock at night. So I'm going to solo it. So I won't be streaming the calls, or screening them rather. But I hope to start the calls next. We've got an 800 number. We've had it for like the last year. For that matter, it's almost the identical number that I had when I first started the radio back in the 90s. That's 85. The new number is 855-999-0799. The 999-0799 is the exact same number I had back in the old Jersey City talking days. All right, let's get me out of the way. Medical update. So I had the MRI and a CAT scan done a couple weeks ago. We finally went to see the neurosurgeon. Thursday? Was it Thursday we went to see him? So he whips out the, I read the report on my chart with RWJ, which has a user-friendly version. I don't know, you got to have somebody smarter than me to read this. But I kept like clicking on all these and researching on Google everything that's mentioned. But you know, I'm not a doctor. We finally go to the doctor, and he goes, puts it up there. So I got some disc problems. I got calcified disc. I got some disc with pressure on it. That's the canal of the spine is narrowing, so it's pinching the nerves. Yeah, I swear to you, since June the 11th, it's like every doctor drops another hammer on me. You know, when I was in the hospital for that week, like every day the doctors came in, there was another problem. I mean, there was another problem they came in with. At the end, like I said, I think I mentioned it last time, a couple of times, shows ago. I was waiting for them to tell me I was pregnant or something. But every time they came in, there was another problem. What they recommend now, we're definitely going to look at surgery sooner or later, within at least the next year. I'll have no real choice, he said. We're going to try some therapy, see if that works. But, you know, I love how they say that. You know, we're going to do some surgery, not relieve the pain. But for now, we'll do some therapy. But is it going to hold off the surgery? No. But maybe do the pain. So he prescribed some medicine to me to deal with the pain. I guess it takes a while because it's not really reducing the pain. I could probably walk right now about 20 feet before the pain becomes excruciating. And it isn't in my back. That's what I kept telling this doctor. I said, yeah, I appreciate what you're saying with my back, but that's not where the pain is. It's not even close to my back. You know, it starts and my buttocks and my rear end, and it's where my legs meet my rear end. That's where the pain is incredible there. And as I walk along, it'll start getting to the left side. And it's the back to back to back. It's quite away from the back. But we'll do it. I'm going to see a pain management doctor. Just call for an appointment. It's kind of 3 weeks away, so I'll make another call so I can get in there a little sooner. I did that Hudson Health show for a long time. I got to know a lot of doctors, so I could probably move things a little quicker. But this guy isn't part of RWJ, his pain doctor. So I may not have the same pull there. I'll see the pain doctor. We'll go through this. I know we're going to do some therapy, but I definitely want to be somewhat mobile by the time I come out of hiatus. Because I got the kids, the schooling. For that matter, I got a call yesterday about 2 kids, graduates who heard about the program and want to join as interns. Yes, I'm sure. I'll teach anybody. But I'm talking to the county about possibly taking in some county clients because of the Hudson County Schools of Technology dropping all their vocational programs, and some of these people need to be part of a program, working or volunteering to keep receiving SNAP benefits. I don't mind teaching anybody as long as you want to learn, and you're an honest kid. Come on in. I'm happy to show you. I'm happy to train you. I've said this many times. You give me 2 or 3 years. That's as long as you should be with me. By the way, it's 2 to 3 years. You got to move on from there. You will move on. You will have a job in this industry. Everybody who's come through the studio is in this industry. And they're still working diligently, so it works out. But getting back to me, hopefully, as I'd like to be at the studio when the kids are there. I enjoy working. It keeps me young. That's what I was told. I have a young mind. I'm 69 years old, but the mind is still somewhere in the 20s and 30s. All right, let's get to business at hand here. You got your tax bill, and I talked about it last show. We got mine. Everybody's got them. Oh, people are pissed. You go on Reddit? I don't go to Reddit too often. I understand Reddit is going left or right on this. Twitter. People are talking about the increase. Some of these increases went up like $1,600 for the quarter. Percentage-wise, a lot of these people said the same thing. They're looking at 25, 26% increases. That I got to see how they calculated these taxes. Maybe the difference coming into the next quarter. But I'll ask Mayor Solomon where we got to get together over a couple issues. It is shocking the amount this went up, and they're trying. I know the council is having meetings with the departments. Here's the problem with the department people. It's like when I was with Transamerica. I didn't want to cut anything. I was always looking to expand. Even like right now, the studio is struggling. It's post-pandemic and every other damn thing that's going on. It's a struggle. I keep going until they cut the gloves off me. So I don't know anyway. I don't know how to quit. Same thing when I was working for Transamerica. I'm constantly building the program. And Transamerica was going to institute these cuts across the way. They'd call me up about, what can we cut in your place? Nothing. Nothing. Here's what I'm trying to do. I told them about starting a used trailer section in the Shark. I used to buy, sell, and repair tractor trailers. I'd go back and forth. And eventually, what the company did, they did their own cut. I don't even think they called me about the cut. I think they cut us back then, this is back in the 80s. I think it was something like a 15% cut. But, I just managed through it. Maybe you work a little leaner. That's all we did. It's the same thing that needs to be done here. As much as I appreciate and respecting your department heads, which most of them are all new, by the way, that really don't have a grasp of what's going on. The council and the mayor just says, listen, here's what we're doing. We're cutting your budget 10% across the effing board. Everybody, every department in Jersey City has got a 10% cut. We're at $886 million, so we're looking at $88 million in savings with the cut. Maybe you twerk it a little bit more to 12%. And then you just try to start running a little leaner. You start doing the shared services. I was texting with the council people during the week because they're having these meetings. As I said before, there's a lot of redundancy between Jersey City and the county of Hudson. That's something we should probably explore because you're paying for both with your county taxes and your city taxes. We got redundancies in many of these departments. I'm not saying we can let the county absorb everything, but, maybe we can push some of that stuff over to the county. Who knows? Shared services, again, something we should be pushing. We should be trying to do as much stuff in-house with our DPW department instead of farming it out. You get the county, the city agenda, and you see the contracts being awarded. We should be able to do some of that in-house. We got to do as much as we can to save you money. As I said last week, we have to come up with a new way of managing the city. Now, can't do it the way it was been for the last 100 years or so. It is too damn expensive. It's truly a different world than it was 100 years ago. It's truly a different world than it was 50 years ago. It's truly a different world than it was 20 years ago. Yeah, but I remember with Glenn Cunningham, I think Glenn's budget was like $300 million. Here we're looking at $886 million. Same damn city. And probably more population under Glenn than there is now. I bet there was probably more population under Glenn. And Glenn ran a good city. He had a smaller police there. Everything was smaller. Yeah, back with Brett Schundler, when I broke in with Jersey City Show, the radio show, Brett Schundler was the mayor. Brett, he made some decisions. There were layoffs. There were police layoffs. There were fire department layoffs. I think Glenn was closing fire departments here and there for weeks at a time. We survived. Tough decisions have to be made. Good mayors make tough decisions, and that's what has to happen here. It's nice that we're playing the dog and pony show with the department heads again, all of them do. They don't really have a grasp of what the hell is going on here. Just flat out to help you, we institute that 10, maybe 12% cut across the board. Simple as that. We put a hiring freeze in. But one other thing I want to mention is overtime. I keep seeing this thing, overtime. Oh, it's overtime. Now, unless somebody's stealing money overtime, overtime is your friend. I would rather pay overtime than hire permanent employees. But then I have all the benefits I got to pay to that permanent employee, all the holidays, medical, all that's involved. Payroll, taxes, all that stuff that's involved with hiring a new person. Where with overtime, the only thing that's costing extra is the overtime. I already got the other stuff covered in the first 40 hours. So that's some of the things we have to look at. For that matter, I'm going to text Mayor Solomon. We've got to get a meeting together, but I'm going to tell him I think it is time with Ernest, we look at going in-house with the trash program. But right off the bat, I'm telling you, we can save about $4 or $5 million a year. And we are controlling it. Your tax dollars are controlling it. It's a program, if we started it, it would be a positive that would have the entire city behind us, because the program, the people doing it now stink. They suck at it. There's garbage in the street. A whole town, a whole city would be behind that. We have to start that. I got pretty much all the numbers, as I used to set up shops for a long time. Before my life in media and politics, I ran shops. And I opened a lot of shops. So believe me, Pat knows what it takes to open a shop, how to outfit a shop, all that stuff. So I got those numbers from the personnel we would need, to welders, to hydraulic mechanics. We got it. Drivers, MS mobile service drivers, the guys picking up the garbage. I got that covered. It's time we look into that. We need some positives here. We don't have a lot of positives going on in the city. But getting back to your taxes, that's ridiculous. I know I read one where this guy's a landlord. He said, yeah, I can't pass this all along to my tenants, because I'll lose my tenant. And that's one of the things, like we have tenants. Yeah, we got the same people, they've been here a long time, probably 10, 15 years. They never leave. But, they're good tenants. We take care of the house. They pay the rent on time. I don't think we've raised their rent in years, but you don't want to lose tenants like that. They're quiet. They take care of the house. That's the kind of people you want. You don't want a different tenant every year. And there's some landlords, they seem to do that. Those are the bad ones that we should probably go after. But, with our tenants, they're here forever. I'll probably have to kick them out of there someday. So you just got to go. if you're there long enough, if you're there 20 years, you got to go. But, like I said, the good tenants in is what you want. It's unfortunate, and a lot of these people are going to pass that along after. You can't eat that. Yeah, some of these people are going to be looking at eating that $6,000, $7,000 a year. If you're looking at $1,400, $1,500 a quarter, and that hurts the renters. Now the renters got to make a decision. So you're probably going to lose some people getting out of Jersey City, but we have to work and run the city differently. Yeah, I can't have these other entities just taxing us. The Jersey City Board of Education is just dysfunctional and out of control. I don't know if Solomon's got some horses in this race that's coming up in November. He should, but actually he should just push an appointed board. We have to have say and sway. The mayor has to have it with the Board of Ed. You just can't keep raising the friggin' taxes every year, 20, 30%. They've done this, 30%, 20%. I think it's just the last one, 18%. We can't, I hate to keep saying that because it becomes like a drinking game, affordability. You can't have an affordable city unless the taxes are affordable. Yeah. People paying $11,000, $12,000. I think I'm paying $14,000 a year. That's ridiculous. But that has to change. So a whole different method has to be used here in Jersey City. We got to look at every expense, see how we can work this expense. I'm not saying cutting people. How can we make it more efficient? The health benefits, that's something we got to probably sit down with some other municipalities so we have some power here. What do we want to do? We bring in these insurance companies. Say you got Bayonne, Hoboken, and Jersey City. Maybe you get Stacking involved. We've got to reduce the insurance problem. And there's a whole problem with the medical practice anyway. I got hospitals that keep merging up or are under threat of closing. Or we've just had it with Christ Hospital in Jersey City. The only ones, I got doctors closing their practice or joining into these huge medical consortiums because it's just not making any money. And it's so difficult now to run your own practice. And what you really have to only make money is the insurance companies. And that has to change. Somebody's got to sit down. I'm a capitalist. Free market, that's me. But there's something wrong with the whole medical organization when only one aspect of it's making money. Hospitals are sucking wind here. The doctors, same thing. People are getting laid off, and there's the insurance company. They're sitting there pretty good. So we've got to make some changes there. But that's the whole thing. Now, by the way, Mayor Solomon, let me get this up here, is having a tour across the city, telling people how they can help with the taxes. I downloaded this thing here. Tax relief help. He's got 6 locations. Let's see, August the 10th. That's today, so let's get that one. August the 18th at Temple Bethel at 2491 JFK, 6 o'clock. It's part of Jersey City Senior Services. They'll sit down there and try to help you through many parts of the taxes as they can, the tax rebates that you possibly can apply for. But, I don't think it's going to come up with the amount of money you got hit with. And I got a problem with hitting the seniors. They did their deal. We should cut them some slack. St. Aloysius Church on August the 20th. That's at 691 Westside Avenue, 6 p.m. Same deal. The mayor's office is going to try to help people. Let's see, on September the 10th, Mount AME Church at 354 Forest Street at 6 p.m. These are all 6 p.m., by the way. Yeah, maybe what I should have him do. I should probably talk to Solomon, just bring him in the studio, because we're back by September. I come right back September 11th or so, where you can just have the whole thing broadcast live. You can take questions. You can have his experts there, multi-camera, instead of the crap he keeps doing on Instagram. On September the 16th at the Moose Lodge. Been at Moose Lodge many times. That's Bill O'Day. I think Bill O'Day lives there. Moose Lodge, that's on Westside Avenue, right at pretty much the end, 60 Westside Avenue. Again, 6 o'clock. And on September, I missed that one? And September the 16th. And on September the 30th, Islamic Center in Jersey City at 17 Park Street. Again, the city's trying to do as best they can to educate you and show you different programs that could possibly save you money. Go to the Jersey City website. You'll find those dates there also. Kudos to the city for trying to help. But it's kind of the city that got you in that trouble in the first place. I'm not blaming Solomon yet, but he will get the blame. I know people talking about recalling Solomon and the council already. You got to give him 1 year. That's a lot of signatures to get people. I don't know if that's going to work. Speaking of these seminars that Mayor Solomon is going to do to help you with taxes, on the 20th at St. Anne's Church on St. Paul's Avenue and Tunley, we're at my neck of the woods. You're getting a dog patch right there. Right there. Go down the hill, you're in dog patch. You stand on the side of the church, you're okay. Go across the street on Tunley, now you're in dog patch. Go down the hill, St. Paul's Avenue, you're hitting dog patch. They're talking about the Van Curen Avenue waste pit transfer station. That's on August the 20th, 6 p.m. at St. Anne's Church. There's going to be a presentation there about the pros and cons. I think, as I understand it, the state wants it. I'm kind of neutral, but I understand why they picked that area. And Mayor Solomon did a little Instagram. He loves that Instagram stuff. Walking on St. Paul's Avenue on both sides of Tunley. That's not where the transfer station is. And you keep saying this neighborhood here. No, Mayor, you may not realize that. That's not where the transfer station is going. Transfer station is about 2 miles from where you were walking. They're all the way down on St. Paul. Make a left right alongside the Hackensack River. If all the locations in Jersey City, it's probably the best. The only one I think I could figure out is even better than there is across the river at the old Copper's Coat site that's owned by the county of Hudson, which the county purchased for an incinerator. Then we got out of the incinerator business. Maybe we should look back in it because you could run it a lot cleaner. But that's the Van Curen Waste Transfer Station, August the 20th, 6 p.m. St. Anne's Church, nice church, by the way, at right on the corner of Tumley and St. Paul's. I think they're arranging some parking across the street with the Canco Lofts, or in my day it was called the American Can Company. But go and listen, but be open-minded. You know, we generate a lot of garbage. Got to go somewhere. Yeah, we're shipping our crap over to Newark, but it's got to be separated first. So that's what the transfer stations do. If it's run properly, you pretty much got one in Jersey City now on 1 and 9 off Broadway there. Yeah, there's Interstate. They do a good job. You don't have any complaints out of there. I'm sure if you got good management, they can run this thing clean. And as far as the trucks, that was the other thing. Sullivan, hundreds of trucks every day. We'll not be going to St. Paul's Avenue, but they're going to probably, if they're going there, they're going to come off 1 and 9 by the Charlotte Circle and get into the transfer station and come out the same way. Now, occasionally some garbage trucks going to go up the hill? Sure. When I was a kid, lots of trucks went up that hill. There was all trucking at the bottom of St. Paul's Avenue, dog patch. Trucking all over the place. But, will garbage trucks go up there? I'm sure some stray ones will go up there every so often. You have garbage trucks going up there to pick up garbage now, so it's not like it's unusual. Jersey City. ICE has picked up a few, I assume, undocumented immigrants here in Jersey City. I think the number was 5 that was picked up. And again, Mayor Solomon right to Instagram and did a little Instagram piece on it. Here's the thing. It probably did happen. We don't know. And the mayors keep saying the same thing. These sanctuary city mayors. Well, we don't know what happened. They didn't inform us they were doing this, blah, blah, blah. Well, no effing kidding. You said you're a sanctuary. You're not going to cooperate with ICE. Big friggin' mistake. We want to know if ICE is doing the thing right. Cooperate. Have them contact our Jersey City police, and a police officer will go along with them. They'll film it, and they'll make sure they're following the proper procedures and all. It doesn't have to, our cops don't have to do any arrests. Just make sure it's being done right. So, yes, we should be cooperating. We should sit back and say, we right with the sanctuary city thing? And I think we're wrong, especially when we don't want to cooperate. And then we do these videos and nobody knows, I don't know where that person went to. Well, they probably do know. We went to Laney Hall. But if we cooperate, they will tell us where they're going and what they're doing. And we can have a Jersey City cop go along with them and to make sure they're following the procedures and policy and the law. Instead of just taking this reproach that we're not going to get involved and then then do some press conference. We don't know what the hell happened there. They didn't inform us of anything. Yeah, because you said you're not going to cooperate. So I would rethink that. I think that was a huge mistake on our part there. ICE has been around a long time. For that matter, they're making a big thing of it now. When Obama was the president, he was I think they called him the deporter-in-chief. He deported something like 5 million people. As much as ICE is going to work under the Trump administration, they're going to get nowhere near the 5 million number, that number. So it's a matter of cooperating. If the people are here illegally, it has to be dealt with. If they're here and they're criminals, you definitely want to deal with that. Now, I know right now everybody's got that Trump derangement syndrome. If these people have records like that, where it's murder, assault, child rapists, pedophiles, whatever, we don't want them here. They got to go. If they have a police record, they got to go. It's simple as that. Under the Biden administration, I think they said 11 million people came in. There's probably more than 11 million. They always have a bad number on that. That's like absorbing New Jersey. It's probably close. I was told probably closer to 25 million. That's like absorbing 2.5 New Jersey. That's not something we should be doing. We got to make sure we know who's here. It's like at your house. You want to know if someone's coming to your house. You want to know who they are, right? You lock your doors that night. You don't want people walking into your home. And that's what's happening here. So we got to do the due diligence, make sure we're enforcing our laws, or you change the friggin' laws, the immigration laws. Simple as change them. But we never seem to do that. No matter what party's in power, nobody seems to have the wherewithal or the will to do that. And it stays the same way it is. And that's the law that we have on the books. And unfortunately, we can't pick and choose them. It would be nice if we could. You can pick and choose. Right now, you got that tax bill. Yeah, we're not going to enforce immigration. Why should we pay the tax bill? Why are we honoring that law but not this law? You got the state of New Jersey fighting with the federal government over numerous things. Why can't we make a stand? Say, I don't want to pay this. We're going to pick and choose what laws. Of course, if you do that, you got a problem. It's something you don't want to do. I was saying earlier today, we had a lot of rain. We have flood warnings in Jersey City. But I think we did all right. Not all over Jersey City. I was in the Heights most of the way. You know what it did do? The other day, I try to avoid it when I'm riding through Jersey City because it's such a pain cutting through Journal Square. It's always been a pain to cut through Journal Square. Even when, I remember telling the parking authority when I was involved in the parking authority, we should just have a person stationed up there with all the double parkers there. You'd keep people busy all day. It's not a problem. Shooting fish in a barrel there. But it's always been an issue. I always try to avoid it. If I'm taking the boulevard, I'll make a right down St. Paul's. I'll go down to Tunley, make a left, then get back on the boulevard when Tunley hits the boulevard there. I'll avoid Journal Square. But I did it the other day. I just took a ride. So let me see what's going on here. I know I'm involved with the Lowe's Theater. I haven't stopped by it in a while. Everybody's complaining about the marquee. I can appreciate the complaints about the marquee, but they did show us these pictures, what it was going to look like after, and everybody seemed to approve the original marquee that I'd never seen. I rode through there. It's amazing the development that happens right in the heart of Journal Square. I see it from a distance, but now I finally got a chance to get up there and look at it. And by the way, the traffic was still a pain in the ass trying to get through Journal Square. Same friggin' stuff. Trucks and cars double parked everywhere. But the Lowe's Theater, I tell you what, they cleaned up the front of it. They must have, sandblasted it. Well, there's some new procedures, not really sand anymore, that they use. Really looks good. I don't know about the inside. I know down the road we will have problems with the Devils group. For that matter, White Eagle Hall, the Devils, their group was running that. It looks like they're closed. I don't know how long they're going to be closed. But one of the things I was told that the Devils aren't coming back. That's for damn sure. It's unfortunate. I like White Eagle Hall. Hopefully it stays there and it's not being sold for some development. So I'm right through Journal Square. And you don't have to stop, by the way, to stop and look at it because the traffic is like stopped for you. The Lowe's look great. I got to stop over where Kushner has the towers where the fountain is. There is the names of the 37 Jersey City residents that lost their life. They got it engraved on this waterfall wall. I have to stop and look at that. I probably could have parked there, but the legs are so bad I couldn't walk over there. But the way that the traffic is up there, I could have parked. I want to look at that. Also, I got to talk to Mayor Solomon about the 9/11 fountain. Maybe we put that in the park over where the courthouse is, which I'm not sure about putting a park there. But if we are, we got a fountain to put in there. I want to take a look at the building. Looks nice. I know there's going to be a Target there. It's really a change to Journal Square because I remember the old Journal Square before the path. It's really a change there. These are things that I got to look at. So I'm riding along, and then I get to the White Castle on Tunley, Newark Avenue there. Now I'm almost broken free from the bad traffic. Almost. There's still a lot of bad traffic at this point. This is where I usually avoid it. Like I said, I go down St. Paul Avenue. White Castle's closed. It is closed. That is going to be a condo residential building, and they're going to knock that down. And I think across the street where that little 2-story brick building is, with all the stores and Social Security. I'm not so sure Social Security is still in it, but that's also about to be knocked down. It's unfortunate with White Castle. Yeah, that was you were a kid. Yeah, you went on date. My part when we were dating 48 years ago, we'd go there. Hamburger was like $6. We didn't have a lot of money back then. You took your dates. You put a few dollars of gas in your car, which you did back then, by the way, a couple of $3. You got a sack of White Castle, and you went out with your girl. You drove around Jersey City. You listened to music. White Castle was a part. White Castle and White Manor were part, depending on what part of the city you were starting off in. It's a shame that we lost that. It seems we're losing all the good things. I'm not sure of the status of the Boulevard drinks. I know they found out that they had a lease, and I know Mayor Solomon was working on relocating them. It's real easy. Just relocate them over to 54 Journal Square for now. For that matter, we should be buying that building, the city. We can use that. We can bond for that. For that matter, maybe I'll talk to Solomon again about the Pompidou space at 100,000 square feet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's talking about, we're going to put some affordable housing in there. Rent the whole damn thing. 100,000 square feet, try to get $70 a square foot a year. You're talking real money. We can do some payments. We can buy some property. We can use that property to pay off bills, move offices in there. It's a tremendous amount of things. And the city holds some properties. We could flip some property. There's a lot of things you could do. You just have to want to do it. Now, I'm not a big believer in selling properties. The city should have assets, but we should do things with our property also. If there's property there, let's build on it. Let's get some affordable housing, some veteran housing, those sort of things. For that matter, if we go in-house with the trash, we got to have a location for it. We're going to need probably a couple of acres of land for it. There's a lot of trucks, a lot of mobile units. You got to have a shop and building. We're going to have to find a place for that. And you don't want to spend too much. We could probably flip some properties or make a deal. I know the location I'm looking at. There's ways we can make a deal without buying it. But I'm telling you, if we go in-house with that right off the bat, we're probably saving around $4 million a year. And you get everything I did, all the numbers I put together on that trash deal, everything is paid off in the first year with the exception of 26 new garbage trucks. Now, that I spread out over 5. I'm sure an accountant will spread it out even further. And I'm sure the accountant's going to say, we're not going to pay the whole building off and all the equipment and land in the first year. So I'm sure that will be spread out. And the mobile service trucks, a lot of other things you could spread out. I'm not an accountant. I don't know how far you would want to spread it. So the only thing I knew right off the bat I was going to spread out the only time was the garbage trucks. We'll capitalize that. But I know if once an accountant gets a hold of those numbers for going in-house, we're gonna be saving a ton of money, and you'll have an operation that is yours, Jersey City. You can reach out and touch it. You can actually touch where your money went. Say, ooh, look at this! I'm touching this garbage truck. We own it. You can go down to the facility and touch the facility. You can sit there and watch the guys work on the trucks, dumpsters. You see the people cleaning things. I would also work on the fire trucks. I would make sure. As a city, I'd make sure we do the same specking on a drivetrain for the fire trucks and the garbage trucks, so I don't need a huge inventory, and my mechanics would be up to speed. I would go with Cummins engines. That's me. Detroit isn't bad either. A cat. Just my opinion with Detroit engines, the guy in the morning with a gallon of oil with the Detroit engine. And Cummins couldn't beat those damn things. Again, ex-trucker here. We're getting better. Didn't I show a flood warning? Yeah, that's how we started this thing. And actually, there's a lot of rain this week. I don't mind the rain. Yeah, in Jersey City, I live in the Heights. So I'm on the top of the mountain. Like I said many times, Jersey City is a hill. I live on the top of the hill in the Heights. But when I was a kid, I lived at the bottom of the hill in Dogpatch. And you go down the hill of St. Paul's Avenue, that's where the water would come down. But we never had the issues we have today. And that's because we really did a lot of overdeveloping. That's really what the whole damn thing is. You have a piece of land that when I was a kid had 4 apartments on it, maybe 6 apartments. We knocked that down and put a 10-story building on there with, now how many apartments? 180 apartments with the same friggin' sewer. So now these sewers are really taxing. They can't handle the water. And that's where you're getting a lot of flooding. There's areas that never flooded before and they're flooding now. And the only thing you can point to, somebody, well, it's global warming. No, we've had rain before. We had heavy rain many, many times. Now it's probably we've developed Jersey City. Trying to get downtown Jersey City. It's very difficult there because we did a lot of what I said, where there was in a building with 4 apartments. Now we build like down there, forget about 10 stories. Down there, you're like 30 stories. And everything's going into that same sewer. Even though under Joe in the MUA, he was doing a lot of replacing of sewer and water downtown, but he had a long way to go. But like I said, I ride around Jersey City now. I don't see that. But that's pay attention to the flood warning. If you're in the Heights, you're okay. And like I said, again, kudos to the MUA in the past past few years with the pump stations. They really mitigated a lot of the flooding. But far different than where we are in Hoboken. Look at Jersey City and Hoboken. Jersey's done a pretty damn good job. All right, listen, we're going to break. We'll come back. We'll talk about those flock cameras. You're listening to this city show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. We'll be right back. Your basement or attic packed? You no longer have a garage? Extra Space Storage has space. Self-storage units starting at 4 foot by 4 foot and up for the storage of furniture, appliances, electronics, clothing, business inventory, sporting equipment. Some Extra Space locations even have vehicle storage. Extra Space Storage from North Bergen to Toms River and everywhere in between and beyond. Visit on the net for your nearest Extra Space Storage location, extraspace.com.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Your basement or attic packed? You no longer have a garage? Extra Space Storage has space. Self-storage units starting at 4 foot by 4 foot and up for the storage of furniture, appliances, electronics, clothing, business inventory, sporting equipment. Some Extra Space locations even have vehicle storage. Extra Space Storage from North Bergen to Toms River and everywhere in between and beyond. Visit on the net for your nearest Extra Space Storage location, extraspace.com. Hi, I'm Pat O'Melia with the Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment Network, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You may have heard me talk about teaching high school juniors and seniors studio and radio production. The hope is when these kids graduate and wish to continue their education, they may receive college scholarships, or if not, they will have the experience from our program to get employment at the major motion movie studios here in New Jersey and New York. I started a GoFundMe where you can make a donation completely tax deductible to help these kids and the studio program. Please go to GoFundMe and type in Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment Network. I thank you now for your generosity. Toms River Armory, 602 Clifton Avenue, right at the intersection of Clifton Avenue and Route 37 at Toms River. Your local source for all your firearm, ammo needs, and accessories. Plus, gunsmithing, repair, and cleaning on site. And coming soon, firearm training and classes. Toms River Armory, 732-569-3730. On the net at tomsriverarmory.com. Open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Toms River Armory, 602 Clifton Avenue at the intersection of Route 37 and Clifton Avenue in Toms River. Visit on the net at tomsriverarmory.com. Your base. All right, we're back. We're back. These buttons bewilder me here. I don't know what happened. That Toms River Armory, the guys that own that, Chris and Pat, they also have CNC auto repair. Same place, right in the same location. I got my little Chevy Ava there. We just did the front. Front's completely changed the front suspension on it. New air box that was broken. Might have done a brake job. I had brakes in the car. And I told them, when you're doing the front end, the brakes look low. You got the parts. We did all that, and we did some other minor repairs. Now I just got to get the car paid for. So if anybody wants to donate to me to pay for get my car out of there, I'd be happy to take it. Block cameras. At the commissioner meetings for the county of Hudson, there was a group there complaining about a camera installed on Patterson Plank Road. And they were complaining because they thought it was a tool that can be used for immigrants, immigration enforcement. And I was told some of the commissioners, some of these guys I've known for the last 30 years, said these cameras are used for a lot of police, for the stolen cars, kidnappings, sex trafficking. There's a lot of reasons these flock cameras that they're license plate readers. They read the license plate, and I'm sure there's a computer somewhere that's scanning the police sites. If this is a car that might be wanted somewhere, might be a stolen car even. The police use it. Jersey City now, they got plate readers, for parking enforcement. And one a real pain in the ass if you're in a municipal lot. In the old days, you used to have a sticker we put on the window. You knew everybody was supposed to be in your lot. Now there's no stickers because we're using LPRs, the city of Jersey City. So right now, anybody can pull in a lot. In the old days, you seen a strange car there and there was no sticker. You called the Jersey City Parking Authority and they got the car out of there. There's only so many parking spots. You get some interlopers in there, then the person who wants to park when they're coming home late at night, there's no spot for them. But LPRs are here, license plate readers. What happens to the info is another question. Now, one of the things that happened with these flock cameras, one guy was spying on his wife's ex-husband and wanted to know his whereabouts, that he was using a flock camera. And I guess you can if you got enough of them strung out throughout the city where you could keep pinging on where that license plate is. But the real question is, what happens with the info? Most people are just honest. They're just going to work. You don't want Big Brother following you and recording your every move. Now, there's some other people that might, be seeing some woman on the side, that sort of thing. Whatever the case is, he might be goofing off from work and going to a place, a Burger King or whatever, to have a sandwich when he's not supposed to. What happens to that information? And who has access to it? I know law enforcement does, but who else? Is it the federal government? Does the state have it? Probably do have the access. So right now, there's many people that are calling. They're calling for the county meetings to stop it. But the municipalities can do what they want. The only reason the county was involved in it was a county-owned pole, and it was county-owned property. So that's why these people were talking to the county. The municipalities, and I don't recall any meeting at any of the municipalities that even brought up bringing these flock LPR cameras. So they're all over. I can actually point some out. And also businesses are using them. You go to ShopRite, Home Depot, they're there. Those cameras are out on the wall. For that matter, I'm going to bet you money that both of those organizations, ShopRite and Home Depot, probably use facial recognition. They're watching everything you do. Now, what do they do with the information? They figure what time you come. They'll go shopping, what kind of things you're buying at shopping, whatever the case is. But somebody's got all that data. I don't have a problem with the flock cameras. I'm not doing anything illegal. But again, you don't want Big Brother there. But who has the info? That we may want to start putting some legislation together as to who can use the info, who can use the cameras to photograph and record people in public or vehicles or property in public. That's a question. Now, it's a different, again, just like what they're saying with running the cities now. Not like it was 500 years ago. Technology has moved. We got people filming everything. That, you may want to curtail that a little bit, but like these flock cameras, originally I wasn't in favor of doing anything, but after reading a few of these stories where law enforcement, police officers, not sanctioned, by the way. Well, you know, they track ex-girlfriends, husbands, that sort of thing. Good coffee. Yes, we've got to figure out who has access and who can use it. So somewhere the state of New Jersey, there's probably a federal law, but I guess it starts with Jersey. But somewhere we've got to have some guardrails, some safeguards in place for these flock cameras. And where can they be put? And we probably should have it that they're very noticeable. Because these are small little black cameras, you can ride by them pretty quick. The only thing you might catch them on, the only thing that's really noticeable of any size is the solar receptor. Because they're solar powered. That you really can't help but notice. But the camera itself, that's pretty minute. It's kind of like what we have in the studio, these little cameras, these gimbal cameras that I'm going to have the high school kids use because they keep dropping my big cameras. No, gimbal cameras. For that matter, I'm still tracking down donations. You know, it's a good thing. The thing about having a not-for-profit, your hands out all the time. In my case, both hands are out all the time. But I want to get more of these little gimbal cameras. I might even get the cheaper version because, again, they drop these things all the time. Let me get to RWJ. Again, I'm an RWJ guy. I like the doctors. I've known them for years. Jersey City Medical Center. I go back with the Med Center for the last 15 years. Did a lot of work with them. You know, from Joe Scott to Mike Pulaski, Joe Anton, who's down there at the Med Center now, and met some new guys at the Community Medical Center in Toms River. So after June 11th, when like every health issue in the world got me, from blood clots, the spots on my lungs, this blood clot won't move, so we'll just give you these blood thinners who make me like a banana right now. There's bruises all over me on my arm. A couple days later, guess what? The blood clot moved. It's split, and half of it's in the lung. But we're not worried about it. It's dissolving. You got spots on the lung. You got bacteria in my blood. You got the infection on my leg that sent me there in the first place. All these problems. There's a big cyst behind my right knee that needs to be replaced. This guy says the size of an orange. I don't even see it. I don't even feel that one. So I've been seeing a lot of doctors. So the morning, what's that? Was it the 8th, 7th, whatever morning it was. First, I went to see the wound guy. He's a podiatrist, and he's the guy that was working on the infection leg. The day before, I seen the infectious disease doctor, and he was very happy with how the leg is responding. And it looks like we beat the infection. But I had something from the new shoes I was wearing. I had a mark on my leg, so we got to take care of this. So we take care of that. They bandaged the thing up. It's just something from brand new shoes, but it's okay. So there's a bill there, but since June, I've made all my deductibles. You've been in the hospital for a week, you made all your deductibles. So I'm just paying like co-pays here and there. So after I see the wound doctor in the morning, I go to see the neurosurgeon over the back, and he's ringing it. But his office says it was $29 fee. So I got the card, and I get the receipt back. It says $329. So where the $300? Well, there was a balance RWJ, so we included that. The first, that's not up to you to include that. You're not the collectors for RWJ. And the bill is from this morning. For that matter, it says my deductible. Yeah, my deductible's been made a long time ago. This isn't the right amount. And they realized the mistake, so now they're trying to change it. They couldn't change it. Hey, listen, if you can't reverse a charge, you shouldn't be doing any charge. But when I got home, I got in touch with RWJ, their main office, and we got that settled. And for that matter, I got an official notification today that my card will be... that money will be returned back to my card. Couple things when you go to the doctor's office. They always ask for this. I don't give them my Social Security number. There's no reason they need that. And don't let them go, just give me the last 4 numbers, because they'll figure it out from the last 4 numbers. Don't give them your driver's license. They want a photo ID. When you get your new license, you take your old one, take a hole puncher, and punch some holes in that black strip in the back and over your driver's license number. And you keep the picture fine and your address. That I have in my wallet that I give. And it always throws these people off. You said you needed photo ID. This photo ID, it's expired. I said, this ain't me. I said, you're not getting that. I don't think I'm going to ever give any of these offices my credit card again. I don't think that's going to happen. Probably not. I'm just going to say, send me a bill. You don't want to send me a bill, I'll leave. Simple as that. But before I leave, I'll make a phone call, and somebody will call you and they'll say, let them in there. But I don't think I'm going to do that again. Yeah, you're going to charge my card. You want to be some hero for RWJ, and the bill was from the morning. I don't think I can let you have access to my card. So it's probably going forward. Like this pain guy, I'm going to say, probably not giving my card. But actually, you don't even want these people having your card number. Yeah, that's even shaky too. And it's not like I'm worried about with the ID death with the Social Security number and altering your old driver's license. I'm not worried about the doctor stealing my info. It's the people in the front office I'm worried about. Because they come and go a lot, and they have all your access. Now, there's one organization that's the worst friggin' front office, and there's about 8 girls in there. They are absolutely terrible. For that matter, when we start the Tom's River Show, I got to start that probably next week or two. I will bring that organization up, because I promised them I would change how this front office worked. But going back to what I was saying, when you go to the doctor, they don't need your Social Security number. They don't need your driver's license. And I don't think they need your credit cards anymore. I don't think I'm never going to give them my cards after what happened here. And it's just a matter of you just being safe. RWJ is great. This was just somebody who was incredibly overzealous. And they have your card. And a lot of times, I'm in super pain. It's lucky I even heard what you said, because I usually fold up the receipt, put it in my wallet. In this case, I happened to look at it. All right, we're running out of show here. I got about 3 minutes left. Let me make sure I got all my little notes here. And one of the things with this, I don't know if I mentioned it before, with the loan, the $105 million for Jersey City, supposedly the state is mandating that 15.5%. I don't know, what the hell do they care? They give us a loan, we're going to pay it back. Are they worried Jersey City can't pay it? Well, maybe that's it. Maybe at 15.5%, that's going to be earmarked for the loan. I don't know. I'm told that you don't do the 15.5, no loan. So I don't know why the state is so hell-bent on that. That's something I got to talk to Mayor Solomon about. Bayonne, New Jersey. All these years, they didn't have a code enforcement division. No department for code enforcement. Who the hell handled that? Now you got Sharon there, that's the new mayor, and I guess she had an issue with code and said, we have no code enforcement department? I don't know anybody that doesn't. Jersey City, we're a very large one. Seaside Heights, I work with Seaside Heights a lot. You got Kenny Roberts down there, that's code enforcement. How can you not have code enforcement? And they're just starting this thing. But that's, that's Hudson County. How can you miss code enforcement? You know what it is? There probably wasn't the amount of development that was going on in Bayonne all these years. A lot of it going on now in Bayonne. They probably didn't have a need for that. They probably have, one of the police chiefs or something like that was probably a code guy, and he'd stop at, the location of a 2-family house going up, and that was probably the whole thing of Bayonne. But now you go to Bayonne, there's construction going on all over the place, from residential to commercial. 1888 Studios is under development there, so there's a lot going on in Bayonne. So that's probably why, Sharon was probably looking at the charts for the city of Bayonne, the new mayor, Sharon, there. She probably said, where's code enforcement? We had all this construction going on here. We don't have a code enforcement division. So it looks like Sharon is going to rectify that quite immediately. And I'm surprised, but that's probably what happened. All those years in Bayonne, there was some development of some 2-story home that was being built. So there's probably some guy from the police force or something like that used to handle that. All right, I'm out of show. Now, next week, I promise, we will take phone calls here. I'm going to sit down with Mike, figure out how to do it myself. Again, there won't be any screening, but if anything gets really stupid, I'll have your phone numbers on the computer here. All right, you be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you during the week. Good night.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your fight.